Today really is a great day in the life of the nation of St. Kitts and Nevis. It is a most momentous occasion when today some 7 outstanding nationals were invested with the 2020 National Honors Awards by His Excellency the Governor General. Could we give them all again another round of applause? It is for me a particular delight to be with such an inspirational group of nationals. Today, our country recognizes just how far they have gone to live in the words of our country's motto, country above self. Today, at this historic Government House grounds, our Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis expresses its gratitude to all of you, and it acknowledges the dedicated service that you have rendered. The National Honors Awards comprise of the Companion of the Star of Merit and the Medal of Honor. These are 2 of the highest civilian honors that the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis can bestow on its sons and daughters. Today we are focused on the recipients of the Companion of the Star of Merit, CSM. These awards are not given lightly, nor are they given randomly. They are presented to those who have given of themselves to a cause, and to those who serve as beacons through others. They are all more than worthy recipients, and you would have gotten to that conclusion from the profiles that had been read of each of them. This is a very unique year in which we are honoring our outstanding citizens and nationals. We all know the damage that COVID-19 has caused to our community and our economy, and it featured in the remarks of our co-chairs. I don't want to dwell too much on this today. We all know the pain and the discomfort brought by the pandemic. We have all lived it. We continue to live in its shadow, and although that shadow is lifting each day, as another resident goes forward to be vaccinated, we still have a lot more work to do. I want to commend, however, the over 14,000 plus individuals who have already taken their first shot. Let's give them all a round of applause. As of yesterday's count, over 18,000 doses had already been administered. 44% of the target group has already been inoculated. And about 12%, am I right, Cameron, have already had their 2 doses. And like me, they have earned the right to occasionally dispose of their mask. So I want to commend them all. Vaccination, as we know, and we have known for over a year now, is the only way out of the pandemic. And the more we can do to encourage ourselves and others, our friends, our family members, our co-workers, to do the right thing, the sooner we will say goodbye to the COVID-19 pandemic. We are fortunate, and we must count as our blessing that God has seen it fit to spare this small nation of St. Kitts and Nevis from the worst effects of the virus to date. And for this we must continually give thanks. We are among the very few countries around the entire globe that can boast that we have no deaths and we must keep it that way. Anguilla next door, Antigua next door, St. Martin, Trinidad and Tobago, they all remind us it only takes one case to create a community spread and to take us backwards from where we came. The lockdowns. No church or limited church. Father Smitten will not be pleased if we were to take the country back there. We must, as a people, always be concerned about consolidating gains and building on the gains. The notion that we stand like the children of Sisyphus, unable to go to the promised land, unable to make it to the apex or the zenith, is one we must deny for the present and for the future. The children of Sisyphus struggled. How do you get the stone to the mountaintop? How do you take the burden up and commit to a successful delivery? And always it was that the stone will fall down again. And a people will have to try what their foreparents would have tried, what the generation before them would have tried to make it to the promised land. A modern St. Kitts and Nevis must always look forward to the challenge and opportunity to delivering a better St. Kitts and Nevis. The last year has been one of challenge in many respects. But through this adversity has come great strength for our people. Many people in our community have risen to the challenges presented. And some of the honorees, indeed all of them, are among those. I want to pray that we do not lose sight of the humanity, the commitment and selflessness that we have witnessed over the last year as we embrace the all of society approach to overcome a dangerous and deadly pandemic. Our National Honors Awards help to capture this commitment of our people. The awards provide us with an opportunity to shine a light on the work that has been undertaken by them and hold up our outstanding nationals as examples for others, in particular our young people, to follow and emulate. Our National Honors Awards are a reminder that yes, good people do exist, and we have them in St. Kitts and Nevis in abundance, even though oftentimes we do not hail and acknowledge the outstanding service. An enduring patriotism is necessary always for sustained national success and indeed for the Herculean task of nation building. We are reminded too that good works are still worth doing. Charity is still an essential part of community life and nation development, national development. Yes, what a powerful message for the times we find ourselves in. The awards show the diversity of service that has been undertaken in our country. So today we have honored our exemplars in the fields of medicine, in education, religion, and national service at a time of crisis. All these fields and others have played a critical role in seeing our federation through the past year, and over the long haul, service in these areas has made our country better and stronger. I want again to acknowledge the 7 honorees. Dr. Bernal Sylvester Nisbet in the field of veterinary medicine. Growing up as a young lad in Tabernacle, I knew him only as the animal doctor who had come to take care of our sick animals. Later on, I would be introduced to him as a family member. And later on, he would introduce me to his beloved wife, who has now become my forever friend. So I want to commend her there, sitting so quietly. I want to acknowledge Viola Jacobs for her service in education. I knew her and saw her passing on the school corridors and knew that she was a stern educator, a disciplinarian, and a woman of strength. And even during her years of quiet relaxation in East Bastille, she always showed a hunger, an appetite to continue to educate, to give up her ideas. So teacher, Miss Jacobs, thank you for all that you have done. We acknowledge Reverend James Rudolph Smitten, religious service, and we acknowledge the importance of God in our journey of nation building. We thank him and all those who so often would pray good things for our country, would pray God's favor and blessing. Thank you, Archdeacon, for outstanding service. Mrs. Shirley Gloria Estelle Brown, again an outstanding educator. Where would our nation be were there not educators like Mrs. Brown and Miss Jacobs and all the others who do this with a passion, understanding that educators make a difference, lasting impression in the lives of people. The teacher in the classroom has the capacity to make or break a student, make them fail, make them not want to come to class again by their words, by their action. And I marvel even in my primary school days at Tabernacle in the Heart and Hand Church, which served as part of our school way back then. It was a teacher, Miss Esdell, whose eyes attracted me to class. I wanted to go to school just again to see teacher Miss Esdell's eyes, because they look so different. He says that in the classroom, we really do not know what is impacting upon our students. And teachers always have to have a loving and a caring and a concern being exhibited in the classroom. Not just about how quickly you can learn, because the outstanding sons and daughters always invariably shine, but how we can take one with total abandon and disinterest in school and learning and bring them to a better place. Sometimes it's a teacher who comes to the class and identify the students who here then was not cope, who recognized that the color of the student was upside down and would fix it and say, your mommy didn't see you leaving to come to school this way. You see how much more handsome, how much more beautiful you look when you wear your shirt that way. Those interventions of love and consideration, they go a far way to inspire learning in the classroom. And they do make a magical difference. So I commend Mrs. Brown and all the other educators. Dr. Hazel Orita Laws, National Service, I commend her. Her grace, her competence, and her dedication to the country. I had the task of engaging the University of the West Indies for her release, for her to come here. And I want to thank her for taking up the mantle as our Chief Medical Officer at a very difficult time. And now we come today to honor her for outstanding service at a period of national crisis. She has gone beyond the call of duty. I'm sure Mother Laws must be eternally grateful to have a daughter like that. So, Dr. Laws, I commend you. And I know that some of the time you would spend in mansion and so on and elsewhere in my neighborhood must have helped giving you the resilience that this job requires. So hail to the rural parts of St. Kitts and Nevis. I commend equally Dr. Cameron Wilkinson, CBE, for national service at the time of crisis in our federation. He, like Dr. Laws before him, has shown a devotion, a singular commitment to getting this thing right. He inspired me by his devotion to duty. And almost for him, we must never fail. You see that in the way he comes at it. You see that in the quickness with which he responds to a WhatsApp I would send him. You see it with his readiness to meet, even on a Sunday, even when he should be in Nevis with his wife. He said, if you were to do it at this particular time, I would certainly be able to do it. So my friend, brother, and fellow student at the sixth form, I want to commend you on behalf of the nation and to say how proud we all are of you. Thank you very much for your service. Mr. Abdias Samuel has given yeoman service in critical areas of national security. And when the vacancy had come in NEMA, it was him to whom I looked to bring this experience that he has had and garnered over years in firefighting and other areas of national service to provide leadership. He has had to help us through hurricanes, but the most significant challenge which our country has faced has been, perhaps in the last 100 years, the COVID-19 pandemic. I want to commend him and to thank him for his service and all that he has been able to do in a calm, gentle way to help fulfill the philosophy of the all-of-society approach, bringing on board the private sector, bringing on board the religious community, bringing on board every citizen and resident who is willing to make a contribution. Brother Samuel, gracias por todo. These, in my view, represent the best of us and the best of what our federation has become. None of them sought this particular attention or reward. None of them undertook service with the expectation of receiving something in the end, other than their due, their poorly public sector salary, which we hope to improve when the stronger and safer future would have come to us all through our collective hard work. I want to thank them really because they did what they did out of love. You knew what you had undertaken was the right thing to do, and each one of you dedicated yourself to doing that. Your humility, your selflessness are why our efforts and your efforts are worthy of recognition. And I want you today to feel some sense of satisfaction and pride of what you have done for this country that I love and we love. We honor you today. We honor your hard work. We honor your sacrifice. We also honor those close to you, your spouses, your families, your friends, and well-wishers. They too have sacrificed their time with you. They have supported you, and they must have encouraged you. They are very much the silent recipient of today's awards. For without their quiet support and assistance in the background, our community would not have had the benefit of their full dedication. I therefore want to say thank you to those who stood with these our honorees. Thank you very much for your patience, and thank you for sharing them with our nation. Today, of course, is not the end of your service. These awards do not mean that you can now put up your feet, especially Dr. Wilkinson and Abdias and Dr. Laws. Indeed, our faith dictates that we share our talents and gifts continually with our community. Matthew 15 tells us, "You are the light of the world. A city on a hill cannot be hidden. Neither do people light a lamp and put it under a basket. Instead, they set it on a stand, and it gives light to everyone in the house, just as you have given light to all of us in the Federation." Matthew goes on to say in the same way, "Let your light shine before men," and we could add women too, "that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven." Today, on behalf of the nation, I glorify your collective good works to our nation. You still have a lot of work to do. As we rebuild our communities post-COVID-19, your gifts are still very much needed. And I encourage you to continue to let your light shine. May it shine even brighter and continue to be a source of hope and inspiration to our nation. In conclusion, soon our Federation will be turning 40. We look to you, those honored by our nation, to help provide the community leadership and guidance as we build for the next 40 years. Your example will be particularly important to our younger generation. We are a country with a young population, young chronologically and young at heart. And with this comes excitement and enthusiasm about the future. But what that future looks like and the role that our young people can play in it will need to be shaped, and for that we want to depend on you. Our young people already face many distractions and many temptations in this postmodern world. Your service shows that there are benefits to yourselves and to the community by dedicating to your cause and seeing it through. These lessons are important. Their shared telling is what will build resilience and commitment among our future generations. Indeed, it will be your continued example that will shape our Federation for many years to come. So thank you for what you have done and are doing to build our Federation. Thank you for sharing your talents and your abilities with our community. Thank you for giving us role models for our young people and the future generations. Your lives, in my view, will be an inspiration to all engaged in nation building. I look forward to seeing your good work continue for many more years. May God bless you, your families and your loved ones. And of course, may God continue to bless the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. Allow me to add to the protocol list the Right Honorable and Right Excellent Sir Kennedy Simmons and his wife. Sir Kennedy, of course, is our national hero. So thank you again for coming to share, support, and to share love with these 7 exemplars in nation building. May God bless us all.